But fire is also dangerous. It can consume and destroy if not controlled. Musashi understood this well. He knew that while passion and willpower are necessary for success, they must be tempered with wisdom. The fire that burns within must be controlled, for without control, it becomes a destructive force that consumes everything in its path. The fire represents the raw, untamed energy that exists within us all, but it is our discipline that keeps it in check, preventing it from burning us alive. The wind, the breath of the unknown. Wind, the unseen force that shapes the world in ways both subtle and powerful, represents the unknown. It is the element of change, of impermanence, and of the constant flow of time. In Musashi's philosophy, wind symbolizes the ever-changing nature of the world, the unpredictability of life, and the need to remain open to the mysteries of existence. Just as the wind blows where it will, we must learn to move through the world with grace and fluidity. The wind teaches us to embrace uncertainty, to live in the moment, and to accept the impermanence of all things. It is a reminder that we are not in control of the world around us, but that we must adapt to it, just as the wind shapes the landscape over time. The void, the empty space of infinite potential. The void is the most mysterious and elusive of all the elements. It is the emptiness that exists beyond all things, the space in which all possibilities are born. In Musashi's philosophy, the void represents the ultimate state of mastery, a state of perfect stillness, of inner peace, and of understanding beyond words. To understand the void is to understand the deepest truth of existence. It is the space where all things come from and return to, the infinite potential from which all creation springs. The void is the state of ultimate freedom, where one is no longer bound by the limitations of the ego, the self, or the material world. It is the space where true understanding and enlightenment are found, where one can transcend the limitations of the human condition and touch the eternal. In the void, there is no distinction between the self and the universe. There is no separation between the observer and the observed. It is a state of pure unity, where all things are connected and all possibilities exist simultaneously. To enter the void is to transcend the boundaries of time and space, to step beyond the veil of illusion, and to touch the essence of existence itself. The eternal discipline of self-mastery. The supreme discipline that Musashi speaks of is not simply the mastery of a craft or the conquest of others. It is the mastery of the self, the continual refinement of one's mind, body, and spirit in the pursuit of the ultimate truth. It is the practice of seeing beyond the illusion of separateness, beyond the distractions of the material world, to touch the deeper currents that flow beneath the surface of existence. To master the self is to confront the shadows within, to face the darkest corners of the mind where fear, doubt, and desire reside. It is a process of stripping away the false identities and illusions that we cling to, of letting go of the ego and its endless cravings. It is the discipline of learning to see things as they truly are, without judgment, without attachment, without illusion. Musashi understood that the path to mastery was not an easy one. It is a path of endless effort, of unrelenting practice, and of constant self-examination. But it is also a path that leads to true freedom, the freedom to move through the world with grace and clarity, to act without hesitation, and to understand the deep, unspoken truths that govern all things. The true discipline is not simply about achieving power or success in the conventional sense. It is about attaining a state of perfect balance, a state of unity with the cosmos, a state in which one is no longer bound by the limitations of the self, but has transcended to a higher understanding of reality. It is the discipline of living in harmony with the universe, of moving with the tides of time, and of embracing the mysteries of existence with open arms. For Musashi, the ultimate aim was not to defeat others, but to defeat oneself, to overcome the false sense of separateness that keeps us trapped in the cycle of desire and suffering. And in that defeat, in that ultimate surrender to the cosmic flow, we find our true power, our true freedom, and our true self. This, then, is the supreme discipline. the discipline to live in the present moment, to embrace the mysteries of the universe, and to walk the path towards self-mastery, not for glory, but for the peace that comes from understanding the deepest truths of existence. It is the discipline of the eternal, the discipline of the void, and the discipline of the cosmos itself. In a world filled with relentless noise and ceaseless distractions, you might wonder, how does the Stoic perspective fit into this chaos? Is it about becoming indifferent or rude, dismissing others as unworthy of your attention? Absolutely not. Stoicism teaches a far more profound lesson. It's not about rejecting others, but about embracing the power of selective attention. Stoics understood that life is full of distractions, and it's easy to lose oneself in the whirlwind of external forces, the opinions of others, the chaos of the world around us. Yet within this storm lies a profound truth. We have the power to decide what deserves our focus. The practice of ignoring is not a sign of disrespect. It's a method for protecting our mental peace and sharpening our focus on what truly matters. In the age of social media and endless opinions, we often get swept up in the noise. Comments, judgments, and unsolicited advice from others can infiltrate our minds, affecting our peace. But here's where Stoicism reveals its deepest wisdom. Our thoughts and emotions are under our control. When we allow external distractions to occupy our mental space, we lose this control, and with it, our ability to act with clarity. Ignoring, then, is not about disregarding others, but about discerning, choosing what to allow into our consciousness and what to shut out. It's about prioritizing your mental health, your focus, and your peace over the incessant demands of the outside world. Think of it this way. The Stoic practice of ignoring is not an act of detachment from the world, but a deliberate act of tuning out what doesn't deserve your energy. It's not about closing off to the world, but about focusing your mind on the things within your control. You don't need to react to every person or situation that comes your way. Sometimes, silence is your greatest tool. By choosing to ignore unnecessary distractions, you free yourself to focus on what truly matters: your own growth, your actions, your purpose. This process can be a powerful shield for your mind. When you selectively ignore what isn't within your control, you become the master of your own mental fortress. This Stoic strategy doesn't mean you are blind to the world. Rather, it means you are no longer governed by it. By not reacting to every event or person, you conserve your mental energy. You can stay calm in the face of chaos and avoid getting caught in the web of external noise. For instance, consider how easy it is to get caught up in negative social media comments. Stoics teach us that we cannot control what others say or think, but we can control our response to it. By choosing to ignore the noise, you regain control over your peace of mind. Now, take a moment and think about how human behavior is shaped by context. Let's delve deeper into the human psyche through the lens of one of the most disturbing experiments in psychological history, the Stanford Prison Experiment. Conducted by psychologist Philip Zimbardo in 1971, this experiment revealed how ordinary people, when placed in positions of power or submission, could transform into cruel oppressors or broken victims. The shocking result? Good and evil are not fixed concepts. They are shaped by our environment. The Stanford experiment shattered our illusions about morality, showing that even the best among us can be swayed by context. This reminds us not to pass judgment too quickly. Just as you wouldn't judge someone for a single mistake without considering their circumstances, you shouldn't assume someone is inherently bad based on one isolated action. People's behavior is often a product of the context they find themselves in. Now let's talk about a different kind of behavior: kindness. We often associate kindness with selflessness, giving without expecting anything in return. But when this kindness becomes excessive, it can breed resentment. It's like overwatering a plant. At first it seems harmless, even beneficial, but too much watering prevents the roots from growing deep and strong. Likewise, when we give too much of ourselves to others, when we neglect our own needs, resentment inevitably creeps in. We begin to feel unappreciated, and those we've helped may become overly dependent on us, causing an unhealthy imbalance. True kindness is not about sacrificing yourself for others. It's about setting boundaries that ensure your well-being while still helping others grow. This brings us to the fascinating dynamic of dealing with narcissists. Narcissists often seek to provoke emotional reactions, to manipulate others through attention and control. But here's where Stoicism offers a unique perspective. The Stoic response is indifference, but don't misunderstand. This isn't about apathy. It's not about ignoring the existence of other.